Hi Year 10, so I've created a short video for you to explain what the conditional tense is and how to recognise it in Spanish. So just a quick reminder on that it means I would do something. We have our AR, ER, IR, and then we've got an IAS ending. So this video is going to be actually practicing putting that into use in Spanish so that we know how to form it. So this is taken from your week 3 work from your term 5 home learning, and I'm looking at tasks 4 and 5. So these are just general conditional tense practice exercises, not specifically related to the topic that we're doing at the moment, social issues. It's just general across the topics to help you understand how the tense is formed and used properly. So for each of these, we're going to complete the sentences with the correct conditional tense conjugations. This should say using the verb in brackets. The sentences are random, as I say, not to do with social issues. So for each of them, we're taking our infinitive and we're going to add the correct ending on the end. So, ir is to go. We want to make that would go. We need to know who is doing that. It's mi profesor, so that's he. The he, she ending for the conditional is ia. So, mi profesor iría de vacaciones. My teacher would go on holiday. Okay? Nuestros primos, something el sol en la playa. Tomar is our verb. Then we're going to need to put on our conditional ending. Primos, you should remember, is cousins, but if you don't, you still know that this is something that's plural, so it's not just he or she, but they. So they, ian. Our cousins would sunbathe on the beach. Okay. El jefe, no, something todos los días. So trabajar is our verb, to work. El jefe, you may or may not know that means the boss, okay, but that's obviously a he or a she or an it. So we need our he, she, it ending ia. The boss would not work every day. Next one, mis amigos y yo, something la lotería. So we need ganar. If we're talking about mis amigos y yo, we're talking about my friends and me, so that's we, okay? So ganaríamos. My friends and I would win the lottery. Mi profesor ideal, something divertido. So we take my infinitive. So we're saying my ideal teacher, again this is a he. My ideal teacher would be fun. Más gente, something el transporte público. We need to use our infinitive. Now this one's a bit confusing. Gente means people. So in English, we would assume that means they. However, gente in Spanish is a singular word, so we have to use the he or she form. Yeah, so more people would use public transport. Next one, las empresas, no something el agua. So malgastar is our verb. And we've got las empresas. Now you may or may not know that las empresas is companies, but even so you can work out that this is a they. So the companies would not waste water. Los gobiernos, something contra la pobreza mundial. Luchar is our verb. Los gobiernos, so again, you may or may not know that means the governments, plural, but we know that it's definitely more than one, so it's they. Yeah. The governments would fight against world poverty, or poverty in the world, worldwide poverty, however you want to word that. Mi madre, something, un perro. Comprar is our verb, and it's mi madre, so we need our he or she ending. Mi madre compraría, my mum would buy a dog. On to our next ones. Mi hermano y yo, no something, el dormitorio. Compartir is our verb, Now if we're talking about mi hermano y yo, my brother and I, so I'm just going to put this above because I'm going to run out of space. Íamos. My brother and I would not share a bedroom. En el futuro, yo something el español. So we've got estudiar as our verb. Yo is I, so estudiaría. In the future, I would study Spanish. Mis hermanas, something a la universidad. Ir is our verb. We're talking about my sisters, so that's they. My sisters would go to university. Mi colegio ideal, something más grande, so we need ser, our infinitive. We're talking about ideal school, it, he or she or it. My ideal school would be more bigger. Yo, something buenas notas, so sacar. We're talking about yo again, so that's I. I would get good grades in my exams. And our last one, mis amigos, something al club. Asistir is our verb, and it's mis amigos, so it's they, ian. My friends would attend the basketball club. Okay, so for every single one of those, I've got my AR, ER, IR verb, plus the appropriate ending. We can never have it without that, otherwise it's a completely different tense. The last one here for this video is just a multiple choice, and this is involving some of the irregular ones. So some of them change in the future tense, like tener, for example, and poder and hacer, and this is just recognizing which one we should use. So remember with me gusta, when we talk about more than one thing, we need an N on the end. It's exactly the same with me gustarían, me gustaría. Dos is obviously two. We've got more than one thing, so we know that we need this one. I would like 2 children. Mi casa ideal, so we're talking about my ideal house, that's it. So ias would be the you form, ia is the he or she or it form. My ideal house would have, remember that's irregular, a garden. Ellos sufríamos o sufrirían. So ellos means they, so it can't be this one because amos would be the we ending. This one also doesn't have an IR in it, so it has to be this one. We've got IR plus the they ending. They would suffer a lot of stress in that situation. Yo tenía o tendría, so it's the I form. We've got ia on both, but this one is not the conditional tense. Remember, tender is what we have for the future in the conditional. I would have to buy shoes size 14. I would have to buy size 14 shoes. Okay, él is he, so we're talking about he or she. Le gustaría or le gustarían leer. Now, are we talking about something plural? No, we are just talking about reading. So, gustaría. He would like to read the newspaper in silence. Yo no vivirían. Yo is I, so we need our I form here. I would not live in the capital because there is a lot of pollution. For G, this word might throw some of you off. Nadie means no one, okay, so it's nobody at all. We wouldn't use we for nobody, we would use the he, she or it. It's just not even a single person. No one would buy that old house. H, nosotros, we, comeríamos o comerían. Anytime we have amos, it's going to be we. So we would eat in a good restaurant. Ustedes, again, we haven't seen a lot of this. This is the formal way of saying you. If we're talking to somebody who's of a higher status than us, or if we want to be very polite. So if you were talking to Mr. Ashley or Mr. Waterson, you would use usted. For ustedes, that is plural and formal, and we actually use the they form for this. Now, if you don't fully understand that, don't worry, you just need to be able to recognise it in an exam. You don't necessarily have to be able to use it. So you would meet a lot of people. Mi padre y yo, my dad and I. So it's we, so it has to be the one ending in mos. My dad and I would visit a museum. Hopefully that's been helpful in making sure you know which one to use and when. And hopefully you can do a little bit more practice by yourself to improve the quality of your writing.